Hello and welcome back to Bad Moms in Business, the podcast. Today we are discussing something that's very, very important and super prevalent amongst our kids, and that is bullying.
Dun, dun, dun.
I know.
It's a hard topic, but it's so important to speak about and share stories about. So I'm glad we're diving into it, even though it's tough.
Me too.
So I want to start this by saying I have full permission to discuss this, and I'm not going to give a ton of details, but enough so that we can have a meaningful conversation. So Aaron, my son, is in 5th grade.
Which is already a hard year. Like, can we just, hormones and, all of the things. I feel like 5th grade is when things start to get rough.
Yeah. And I think too, facing going into middle school next year, just all of these kids are, they're going through so much.
Yeah.
And I think we all experience that as kids, but we're so far removed from it at this point that it's hard to remember, I think. At least it is for me. But Aaron has had some instances where he's being teased or bullied at school, specifically around the fact that he wore some pink socks to school.
Which, I love that.
I know. It's just so silly.
It's so petty.
Yeah. Like, you can't think of anything more clever to make fun of than some pink socks. Come on, bullies.
Right, better. Like, come on, like, is this bullying the bullies now? Like,
That's
fair.
That's fair. But one of the things that I think is most important when we're talking about bullying is the fact that now kids, it doesn't stay at school. When we were in school, we didn't have the technology that our kids have now.
Absolutely.
And so when you left school, you could just leave school and not have to think about it. But now it follows them home with phones and iPads and messages and FaceTime and, all of these different things that just make it just so much worse for them.
Well, I think you've hit the nail on the head with that. So for us, at least for me, AIM was a big thing at my school. And that wasn't until I was in high school.
Yeah.
And I think well into high school, if memory serves. And now they have like 12 different types of social media that they could be bullied on all at once. Like, that's overwhelming. That's a lot.
It is. And I have tried very, very hard to protect my kids from that kind of stuff. They don't have social media. They don't have phones. They have very limited internet access. But man, there's still ways. I had just recently allowed them to turn iMessaging on their iPads because all of their friends have phones.
Right.
And it was turning into like, oh, I'll just text you after school. And I finally allowed that. And then that's when I went through Aaron's iPad one night because I'm trying to be a responsible parent, right? Like, I want to know what you're talking about. I want to know who you're talking to. And so going through his iPad, I found these messages of kids calling him derogatory names. And it was really upsetting for me as a parent. I don't think that I ever would have heard about what was going on had I not found it myself.
That was one of my questions was, do you think he would tell you?
No. Which is a shame because I want to be that parent that they feel comfortable coming to and saying, this is what's going on in my life. This is what happened at school today. But I also think there's a level of embarrassment that stops from being able to have those conversations. So the great news out of all of this is I took the messages, I took the whole iPad into his school and I said, please read these messages. This is what's happening outside of school. And I don't know if there's anything you can do about it because it's outside of school. I don't know what your jurisdiction is. But his principal went so above and beyond for him. Not only did she contact all of the parents that were involved, she contacted all of the kids that were involved, and then made a day specifically for him without everyone knowing that it was for him, where all of the teachers, and I have several friends in the school who had their kids dress up. Everyone wore pink. The whole school was like pinked out. They had pink shirts, pink socks. Just, it was such an amazing outpouring of love for my sweet, sweet boy. I can't tell you what that meant to us. And really what it meant to Aaron. It was wonderful. So I guess the whole point of this is, if you know that your child is being bullied, and I even hate that word because it's become such a buzzword.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, we know how Amanda feels about opportunist. I struggle with opportunist. And I think too many people get on the bandwagon of what's trendy. And so I completely agree with you. There needs to be a new word for like the true bullying cases, because bullying is just so misused. But he is such a sweet boy.
I know. That's what makes it hard.
What the school did is something that I never would have expected a school to do. I think that is kind of like renews my faith in humanity a little bit. Like, I love that so much. And you don't like, he doesn't go to a small, private school or anything. I mean, this is like a normal sized public school, and it's incredible that so many people went above and beyond to do that. And I want to commend you, Bridgette, because Watson's 3. I would have no idea how to navigate something like this. But in my opinion, just with people that I know in my life, I think that there are very few people that would have taken the step that you did to go to the school and say, I don't know if there's something you can do, but I'm going to try anyway. Because something like that would have never happened had you not done that. Like, if you would have just tried to sit him down and have a conversation and just left it at that, he would not have seen this amount of support behind him. And I think that is highly commendable.
Oh, well, thanks. It's important. And some of the feedback that I got, I mean, I think the whole point of this is check your kids' phones, check their iPads, check their computers, because you have no idea potentially what they're going through, what they're experiencing, or if your kid is the one that's doing the bullying. I mean,
ooh, good one.
None of these parents seemingly knew that their children were speaking the way that they were speaking and acting the way that they were acting.
That's a great point.
Yeah, so it's just important to be able to have open conversations with your kids about what's going on in their lives. And honestly, you might not get the full story. Hey, how was school? It was fine. But at least you're offering them the opportunity.
Especially as children get older, that is the common phrase that you hear. How was school? It was fine. It was stupid. It was whatever. Like, you never get the more privileged information that is really so important. So I do think we do have our best chance of ever getting, answers is the devices in which they're using. And had you not turned on that iMessenger at that point for that to even have an opportunity to filtrate into that, you wouldn't even known what was happening at school. And I do commend the school. Schools have a really hard time navigating that line of not making it a big deal, but making a deal, because would the pink socks or all the pink have made it worse? Potentially. You just never know. So the rollout on how to handle that is so delicate, super, super delicate. And I did not think I had anything to add to this conversation, but I do actually remember something. So I've always trained Owen that there's very few instances that you can get in trouble at school. Like, to me, like, talking, whatever, he's not a talker. So I don't have to worry about a lot of things with Owen, but I have said on so many occasions, I will be more upset to hear you stood by and watch something than to actually maybe sock someone in the face for being
Hold
a
on,
bully.
hold on. Amanda.
Right.
And you know what?
Sweet Amanda.
Yeah, I want to make sure that didn't come out of my mouth.
No, this is coming out of my mouth. And this
I
is
love it.
stemming from my senior year of high school. I almost got suspended in, of all classes, pottery, ceramics.
Of course. Hold on. This took it from the most least Amanda-like conversation to the most Amanda-like conversation.
So I was a senior. I was just getting my credits at that point. I had all of my requirements. I just had to serve my time, is how I put it, because I hated school. We all know this. And so I was one of the few seniors in ceramics class. And there were these boys, a set of 3 boys, throwing metal forks at this 9th grade girl at my table. And I was like, this has got to stop. And so they kept doing it. I was like, you guys need to knock it off. And they didn't. And Amanda went crazy. I took all the flipping forks. I went to the table, threw them on the table. I was like, stop throwing forks. I lost my mind. I literally lost my mind. The teacher, who was about 1,000 years old, had to hit the emergency button. Security came, principal came, because there was all out brawl because of the brawl, because of these metal forks, and that they were throwing them at this 9th grade girl. And I just like had it. They got suspended. I ended up not. Teacher went on leave and never came back. So there's that. So there was a lot, but you have to be strong enough to stand up for the people who, some 9th grade girl was not going to be able to stand up to these like 3 11th grade guys.
Sure.
And that teacher was like, I have finally seen everything in my career. I saw Amanda, the sweetest person ever, lose her cool. I'm done.
Lost it. And so I knew, though, if I would have gotten suspended, I would have hung my head high that I got suspended for standing up for something. And I always tell Owen that same thing, because I will defend him to my grave if he gets in trouble for doing what's right. And sometimes doing what's right is actually wrong. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think that's important. We had that conversation too, about if you see a friend of yours being picked on or kids are being mean.
So Marcus just rolled up to my office, like random. So we're going to keep on doing it, but my door's even locked. So let me go unlock it so he can come in real quick. I'll be right back.
And you know what? I mean, I was not a perfect child. Sorry, Mom. Turns out I'm not. But
you come on.
I know. Oh, we can listen to their personal conversation.
We're gonna record another one.
You're not muted, so we can hear your conversation. That was fun.
Well, I said, give me a kiss. He was like, no. Sorry. I thought I muted. Instead, I muted you guys.
Oh,
that's fine.
That happens.
Yeah. But I was just saying, I was not a perfect child in school. I one time, do you ever look back at your school experiences and really regret the decisions you made?
Have you met me? Always. Always.
I will never forget, there was a girl at our lunch table and I was mean to her, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I just was. It's not good.
Kids are lame.
Yeah, I was a jerk. And I had this plan, like I planned it. It was premeditated, that I was going to spill juice on her.
Oof.
My facial expressions keep getting worse.
I know. So I opened this bottle of apple juice and I set it next to me, and then I accidentally flung my purse into it, and it went all over her.
How old were you?
I was in high school, 9th or 10th grade. And I think 9th grade. And the principal, who knew me and liked me because I was otherwise a good person and a good student, saw the whole thing and like called me over, did one of these with her finger, like, you come here. And she said,
ouch. Ouch.
very, very disappointed in you. And my whole heart just like shattered.
The word
Because
disappointment.
yeah, because like, what am I doing? Why am I such a jerk? I don't know. I didn't get suspended or anything like that. I didn't even get detention, but just knowing that I had done something, A, to hurt somebody, and B, that it didn't go unnoticed. Oh, I never did anything like that again. I can tell you that.
Can I tell you, I watched a TikTok just the other day about a person probably our age who felt terrible for some of the things that he did, like yourself as a kid. And one of the things where he stole a kid's pizza, like, or lunch every day because he was a heavier kid and he was hungry. And so he would take the pizza or whatever the kid was eating, and this kid would not have any lunch. And now as an adult, he's like, I can't even like tell you how bad I feel about doing that. He said the person's name, the school.
Whoa.
He found the guy on TikTok. Like, so the guy, well, I guess I should say the guy found him on TikTok and like duetted it and was like, I forgive you. And it was really cool. So Bridgette, like if you want to like do that for the juice incident,
I know, I've thought about it. We're not Facebook friends or anything, but she comes up once in a while and I can see her. And I really have thought about sending her a message, but I'm a coward, turns out. So I don't know.
That would take a lot of guts. It really would.
Yeah.
You know, and think about it this way, Bridgette, you are one of the nicest people that I know. So like because you got, you did that and you got caught and you felt terrible about it, you kind of rewrote your story a little bit, and you could have potentially, it's like a chain reaction, right? Because of that action that you did, it caused you to be the type of parent that you are and to take the action that you did with your kids. And now maybe those boys won't be doing something like that in the future too.
Yeah, I hope that you're right. I mean, I am not naive enough to think that I'm going to send my kids to public school and we're going to be able to avoid this type of stuff. It's going to happen. But man, when it happens, it just breaks your heart. And so I think about that girl and like, did she go home and talk to her parents and say, this is what happened today? Or did she never talk about it? Like, I'm telling you. Oh,
this got real heavy.
I know.
I feel like Bridgette's going to absolutely be sending a message today.
I'll let you know if I do. Because it has kind of been on my heart since all of this happened. But I think just overall, the message that I want to get out today is check on your kids, check their internet and phone activity, see what they're doing. I mean, not a day goes by. I did take the iPads away from the boys when this happened. A, to protect them a little bit, but B, because I didn't want them to get caught up in this and in turn start saying mean things to other kids. They just got them back Easter weekend, so they were gone for about a month from their possession, and they still have iMessaging, which I struggled with. Do I let them still have this, or can they just play games on this iPad at this point? But I have to let go a little bit and trust that they're going to do the right thing. But you better believe I'm checking those messages every night to see what's going on in there. And I just had to have a conversation with Aaron this morning, and I don't have permission to share that, so I won't go into great detail, but this kind of like, hey, ask him who he likes. Hey, who do you like? I won't tell anybody. But you're going to tell somebody because she asked, like, and again, I know this is kid stuff and it's harmless for the most part, but you don't want to ruin a friendship because you're like, going behind this person's back to give privileged information, right? Like, these are all lessons that our kids have to learn, and we're not going to be able to protect them from making mistakes, but I just want to be able to guide them to make the right decisions.
Well, they're learning experiences and how to handle life as it comes at them. And until they deal with it, they don't know how to handle it. And that's why it's really important to have a parent in the picture. And some kids, are just less social, or, there's even popular people get picked on too. It's just some people can let it roll off of their shoulders a little bit easier than others. But we do have to be very understanding for the people who take it to heart, because that's just who we need to protect.
Mhm.
Hard
being,
subject.
being a parent is so hard.
Mhm.
It is. And I haven't even reached any of those stages yet. And it's so hard.
Each stage brings its new,
Mm-hmm.
with it, new challenges, you know?
Yeah.
I would not want to go back to having a newborn or an infant, because that part is
It's hard.
so hard.
It is hard.
But
It's hard in just different ways.
Yep.
yeah.
Every season's hard. And the hardest part for me is the older they get is the less they need you and the less you can really contribute. You have to be very creative in how you contribute to the outcome you want. And so that's very difficult.
It
Agreed.
is. I wish I could just stay like 2 or 3 forever.
I don't.
That's hard. Yeah.
I just would like a time that I can go back and go to certain ages and just like have those memories, like relive those memories again.
Mm-hmm.
And I've said this before, as I'm dying, I want those memories to like replay in my head. Like those really special like moments that were captured on, the camera or the videos. Like those are the videos that I want to play through my like head as I'm like leaving.
I hope that happens for you.
Me too.
That could be my heaven too. I mean, I'm not picky.
Just watching the same video of Owen over and over and over again.
I mean, I'll take it.
As long as it's a good one.
Absolutely. Yeah. We all have those like core memories that are just going to be into our minds. So you pick your favorites of those. And if that's just what keeps getting replayed, that to me is heaven.
Yeah, I agree.
Marcus is over there probably rolling his eyes, whatever.
Oh, is he still there?
He is.
Hey, Marcus.
He's like, I hate this. I love it. But really great topic, very hard topic. So let's just recap. Be present in your kid's life enough to know if there are things happening and bullying is happen, but also raise leaders to squash that type of, behavior if they see somebody picking on someone who maybe is too sweet or too weak for their age at the time.
And we've mentioned this in a couple of our episodes because it fits for many different topics, but have the tough conversations because it might be awkward to have the conversation with your kid.
Yeah. Absolutely. And if they sock someone in the nose for being a bully, it is what it is.
Yep.
That's the thing.
Well, there you have it. What are we talking about next week?
We are talking about postpartum bodies.
Ooh. It's going to be
a lot to share on that.
15 years later, I do too.
Yeah.
So Bridgette, thank you for sharing your stories with us. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks for listening. And I hope it helped even one person.
Help me. So check.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, guys. We will see you next week. Thanks for listening.
Bye,
guys.
Bye.